Hi, my name is Betty Shelton. Today I'm going to read you a story called Grandfather Buffalo. As I read this story, I'll ask you some questions. When I ask the questions, please pause the video, answer the questions with your family, and then restart the video. This book is called Grandfather Buffalo by Jim Arnosky. Who do you think the characters in the book are going to be? What do you think the story is going to be about? Can you predict that? Grandfather Buffalo was old and slow, but he was still strong. Do you know anybody that is older than you? Are they strong? Can you find the buffalo in our picture? He was the biggest and the oldest bull in the herd, and he was getting older every day. He spent a lot of time alone, lying in the tall grass, resting his old bones. Can you see him resting? Do you notice the setting of this story? When the herd moved on, Grandfather Buffalo slowly stood, shook the dust off his sides, and followed. Each time he was left a little further behind. Have you ever been left behind? If you ever get left behind at a store or anywhere that you go, at the park or anywhere else, what could you do? What should you do? But as long as he could see the others, he was still a part of the herd. Longhorn cattle and prairie dogs kept the old buffalo company some of the way. Who are some of the other characters in the book? Do you know what a prairie dog is? Does he look like the dog in your backyard? Look real close down here. That is a prairie dog. Mostly, though, he walked alone, following the fresh tracks of his herd. One day, at the drinking stream, Grandfather Buffalo came upon another buffalo, also traveling far behind the herd. It was a young cow carrying the heavy weight of her unborn calf. Together, they followed the tracks of the herd. When some cowboys came looking for their cattle, Grandfather Buffalo snorted at them and pawed the ground until they rode away. Do you think that they were afraid of the cowboys? Do you think the cowboys were afraid of the buffalo? Later that night, with the herd grazing close by, the cow gave birth to her calf. She had a baby. A baby cow is called a calf. All through the night, Grandfather Buffalo listened to the darkness for sounds of danger. But all he heard were the tiny bleats of the newborn calf and the soft grunts of his mother. If there is a baby in your house, what kind of noises do they make? Have you ever heard a baby make noises? What kind of noises do they make? In the morning light, the old bull walked over for a closer look. The calf looked up, unafraid. Why was the baby unafraid or not scared of the Grandfather Buffalo? Do any of the buffalo look scared? When the herd moved on, the calf stumbled and hopped and ran, trying to keep up with his mother and the rest. Grandfather Buffalo was close behind, nudging the calf along. What does it mean to nudge someone or something along? Let's find Grandfather Buffalo and let's see what he's doing. They walked into a dust storm. The calf lost sight of his mother and ran around, bleating loudly. In the blur of the storm, he accidentally ran into Grandfather Buffalo and butted his hard little head into the old bull's woolly side. Grandfather Buffalo grunted and kept grunting as he walked. The calf followed the sound through the blinding dust. Why did the Grandfather Buffalo keep making noises? Why did he keep grunting? When the dust cleared, the herd was grazing just ahead. The calf ran to his mother. Grandfather Buffalo was tired, but wanted to be by himself. He found a quiet spot to lie down and quickly fell asleep. What do you do when you want to fall asleep? Does that picture look familiar? Do you recognize the characters on these pages? It was night when the old bull awakened by something pressing against his ribs. It was the calf napping by his side. The calf is snuggling up by the Grandfather Buffalo. Do you ever snuggle up beside someone? Do you have a dog or a cat that maybe snuggles up beside you? Look at this picture. Do you think it's night or day in this picture? What makes you think that? In the light of the rising moon, Grandfather Buffalo got up, waking the calf with a motion. Then the calf followed his mother, and Grandfather Buffalo followed the calf toward the rest of the herd. They all grazed together. What does it mean to graze? Grandfather Buffalo was old and slow, but he was still a part of the herd. Thanks for reading with me today. Quick question. If you had a buffalo at your house, what would your house be like? If you had a baby at your house, would your house be the same or different? Would it sound different? Would it look different? Thanks for reading with me today.